I built her the house she wanted, she used it to hide him. The mornings were quiet out there. We bought the land 3 years after her father died, a soft patch of pine-shaded hills 30 minutes out of town. She wanted space. I wanted her to be happy. So I built the house with my own hands. Every nail, every beam, every plank of floorboard. After work, after weekends, for almost 2 years. She called it our forever place. We moved in the spring she turned 35. The kitchen had bay windows she'd always wanted. The bathtub looked out over the forest. On warm evenings, she'd sit on the back porch with tea and a blanket. I'd join her sometimes. Most nights she liked the silence. We still lived in the city during the week, her office was downtown, mine was near the docks. But weekends were for the house. She called it her escape. The first time I noticed something was off, it was small. A scarf on the arm of the couch. Not hers. Gray wool. Faint scent of aftershave I didn't use. I stood there holding it for a moment. Thought maybe it was her brother's. Maybe she'd had friends up. I left it on the coat rack. Didn't mention it. That night, she seemed tired. Said she had a headache. Went to bed early while I stayed up listening to the wind in the pines. I don't know why I didn't ask about the scarf. Maybe I didn't want the answer. The next weekend, her phone stayed locked the whole time. Usually, we shared everything, groceries, bills, playlists. But now she kept it face down, even at breakfast. I cooked eggs. She barely touched them. Said she had to get back to the city early Sunday. Early meeting Monday, she explained. I offered to drive back with her. She told me to stay, enjoy the house a little longer. I remember watching her taillights disappear down the dirt road. The woods were too quiet after that. I stayed the rest of the day. Cleaned the gutters. Chopped firewood. Thought about the scarf. When I walked inside, I found her tea mug still warm on the porch railing. Lipstick on the rim. 2 cups. I only remembered one. Tuesday night, she didn't come home. She texted me at 6:42, late meeting. Don't wait up. No call, no explanation. Just that. She used to call. I ate alone, leftovers from the weekend. Her plate stayed clean. Her chair untouched. Around midnight, I checked the Find My app we both still had on. Her dot was off. Location not shared. That was new. I stared at the screen a long time. Then I set it down. The next morning, she walked in like nothing had happened. Kicked off her heels, dropped her coat over the chair. Said something about corporate being a nightmare lately. I watched her make coffee. She didn't kiss me. That Saturday, we drove up to the house together. The ride was quiet. She scrolled on her phone most of the way. I asked who she was texting. She said, just Kate. Then turned the screen away. Kate was her coworker. Divorced. Always traveling. Never came to visit. That night, while she showered, I stepped outside to smoke. I don't usually, but I needed to do something with my hands. The sky was cloudless. Cold wind in the trees. Through the bathroom window, I could see her silhouette. Steam on the glass. Her phone buzzed on the kitchen counter. Once. Then again. And again. 3 messages. All from a number I didn't recognize. Just an initial, M. I didn't open them. Not yet. But I stood there, staring at that screen, until the buzzing stopped. Later that night, I asked her if she still liked coming up to the house. She said, of course. Why wouldn't I? Didn't look up from her book. I said it just felt like she wasn't herself lately. That she seemed distracted. She laughed. Light. Dismissive. Don't be dramatic. I've just had a lot on my plate. She kissed me then. Light. Dismissive. Went to bed early again. Lights off by 9. I sat by the fire a while, listening to the creak of the chimney, the settling wood. And then I checked the number. M. No name. Just the letter. I typed it into my own phone. Nothing came up. I didn't sleep much that night. I kept hearing footsteps on the porch, but when I checked, it was always empty. Just wind. Just wind. I crossed a line the following weekend. It was Saturday morning. She said she needed to run into town for groceries. Just a quick trip, back in an hour. She left wearing lipstick. For milk and bread. As soon as her taillights disappeared past the tree line, I opened her laptop. She never used it much, said her phone was easier. But the charger was still plugged in, and I'd seen her on it late at night, back turned to me in bed. The login screen waited. She never changed her password. I don't know what I expected to find. Maybe nothing. Maybe guilt for even looking. But the browser remembered more than she did. A new email address I didn't know about. Search history cleared, except one tab still open, directions from our house to a motel on Highway 5. I stared at the map. Then looked at the timestamp. Tuesday night. The same night she didn't come home. I closed the laptop. Wiped the table clean like I'd never touched it. She came back an hour later. No groceries. Just a bottle of wine. Said she forgot the rest. Next time, she smiled. That night, she fell asleep on the couch. Wine half finished. Her phone unlocked beside her. I sat beside the fire, not watching the flames. Just her scream. Waiting. When it lit up, I picked it up. 6 messages. Same number. No name. Just M. I opened the thread. Miss you already. That scent still on my hands. Sunday can't come soon enough. Her reply was just a heart. I didn't breathe. Not at first. Just sat there holding her phone, feeling something split open in the center of my chest. I took a screenshot. Emailed it to myself. Then deleted the message. Locked her phone. Set it gently back. When she stirred, I said nothing. Just helped her up to bed. The next morning, she left early. Said she needed to get a head start on Monday. I waited 20 minutes. Then I followed her. Highway 5. She took the turnoff by the old gas station. I slowed, stayed back. She pulled into a motel lot. Room 7. Same one from the map. A man stepped out to meet her. He was tall. Dark coat. Confident stride. He kissed her the way a man kisses someone who isn't afraid of being caught. She didn't look around. Didn't check the lot. Didn't even hesitate. I parked across the street. Watched them disappear inside. Then I sat there with the engine running, hands shaking too hard to shift into park. She stayed for 2 hours. I left before she did. Didn't want to see her face again just yet. The house looked different when I got back. It always did after she'd been there alone. Pillows slightly rearranged. Books stacked where I never put them. A faint, unfamiliar cologne that clung to the curtains. I left my bag by the door and walked through the silence. The rooms weren't empty, but they didn't feel lived in either. Like a stage set after curtain call. On the kitchen table, a half-finished coffee mug, her favorite scarf, and a hotel keycard. Room 7. I sat down across from it. Just stared. The house was so quiet, I could hear the fridge humming. Later that night, I waited outside. No lights. No fire. Just me, the wind, and the creak of the porch swing she loved. Her car pulled up just past midnight. She stepped out smiling. In heels. Same ones from the motel. She didn't see me at first. She was still humming. When she looked up, the sound stopped. "Oh," she said, startled. "Didn't know you were here." "I didn't either," I said. A long pause. "I just needed air," she added. "City's been heavy." I nodded. "You smell like him." She froze. I stood. Walked past her into the house. She followed slowly. No protests. No excuses. In the kitchen, I pointed to the keycard. She looked at it, then at me. Her lips parted, but no words came. Just silence. A long, cold silence that said more than anything she could have tried to explain. "How long?" I asked. Still nothing. She moved to pick up the keycard. I stopped her with a glance. "Don't," I said. Her hands dropped to her sides. "He's not what you think," she said finally. I almost laughed. But my throat was too tight. "Then what is he?" She looked away. I didn't mean for it to happen. But it did. Another pause. Then, "It's not serious. You used our house." The sentence landed like glass on tile. She closed her eyes. I didn't know how to stop it. "You could have tried." She didn't answer. Just leaned against the counter like her legs couldn't hold her. The keycard was still between us. A small, plastic truth neither of us could pick up. She finally whispered, "I'm sorry." I nodded once. Then turned and walked to the porch. The door closed behind me. The wind had picked up. I sat on the swing. She didn't follow. Not this time. We didn't speak the rest of that night. In the morning, I made coffee. Poured 2 mugs, out of habit. Left hers on the counter. She walked in wearing his sweatshirt. I didn't say anything. Just watched the steam rise between us. She reached for the cup. Sipped. Eyes on the floor. "You told him about this place?" Her jaw tightened. "He asked." "I didn't invite him here." "But he's been here." A pause. "Yes." She didn't even try to soften it. "I built this for you," I said. "I know." He sat on that porch swing. "I'm sorry." The silence pressed harder. Like water filling a room too slowly to notice until your breath catches. "Does he know about me?" I asked. Another pause. She hesitated. "He thinks we're separated." I almost laughed. "That what you tell yourself too?" "I didn't want to hurt you." "You did anyway." She blinked fast. Looked at the window. "Anywhere but at me." "Does Kate know?" The name landed hard. She nodded. "She's the one who covered for you." A whisper, "Yes." I stepped back from the counter. The floorboards creaked like they were shifting beneath me. "So you've had help. That makes it easier." "No. Just more convenient. I never wanted this to become what it did." But it did. The mug in her hands was shaking now. I reached over. Took it gently. Set it down. "What's his name?" "Mason." Of course it was. I closed my eyes. "Mason," I repeated. "Does Mason know he's a thief?" Her voice cracked. "Please stop." I didn't answer. Just walked to the back door and opened it. Cold morning air flooded in. Sharp. Honest. "You should go." She didn't move at first. Then she turned. Picked up her coat. Left the sweatshirt. walked past me into the cold. No words. Just the sound of the car starting. And the echo of her leaving, again. She didn't come back that night. The mug stayed on the counter. I sat on the edge of the bed, listening to the quiet click of the heater, the slow ticking of the clock she once said helped her sleep. It didn't help me now. In the morning, I packed a box. Not everything. Just what I knew she wouldn't notice missing. My father's watch. A book she never read but I loved. A flannel shirt I'd had since college. Little things that still felt like mine. The truck was already half full from earlier that week. Firewood. Tools. An old fishing pole. I added the box. Didn't slam the tailgate. The air was still. The kind that holds sound instead of letting it go. I walked through the house once more. Slowly. Not to remember. Just to make sure I'd really let go. Her scent still lingered in the bathroom. A drawer still held her travel-sized shampoo. One of her earrings rested on the nightstand, just one, like it had been forgotten mid-lie. I didn't touch it. Didn't leave a note. I just took down the framed photo of us in the kitchen, the one from the day we broke ground. She was wearing work gloves and laughing. My arm was around her waist. We looked proud. Stupid, maybe. But proud. I left the frame. Just took the picture. Folded it into my wallet. By noon, I pulled onto the road. Gravel crunching under tires like something quietly giving way. At the mailbox, I stopped. Opened it. Nothing inside but a flyer and a card. A simple envelope. No stamp. My name in her handwriting. I didn't open it. Just held it between my fingers, the ink already familiar, the weight of the paper too light for any kind of apology. I slid it into the glove box. Kept driving. By the time I reached the edge of the city, I didn't feel angry. Or even numb. Just done. Like closing a book you thought you'd never finish. And realizing you'd already memorized the ending. I didn't go home. Not the city one. Not the one we shared. Instead, I drove until the road narrowed and the trees grew taller than the power lines. The coast wasn't far. There's a spot just north of Fairhaven. Gravel lot, trailhead, then a bluff that looks out over the water. We went there once, years ago, before we signed the mortgage, before everything became paperwork and paint swatches. She said the ocean made her feel small in a good way. I parked the truck. Left the keys on the seat. Walked the trail in silence, hands in my jacket, gravel cracking under each step. No music. No messages. Just the wind and the sea waiting. When I reached the bluff, I sat. The sky was gray. Not stormy. Just quiet. Below, waves folded into the rocks like breathing. Slow. Relentless. I pulled the picture from my wallet. The one from the kitchen frame. Looked at it a while. We looked happy. Maybe we were. Maybe that's what hurts most, knowing it wasn't all a lie. Just enough to break the rest. I didn't cry. I didn't speak. Just watched the edges of the photo curl in the wind before I let it go. It slipped from my fingers. Danced once. Then vanished into the drop below. I stayed there until the sun started down. Birds moved in the distance. A ship blinked faintly near the horizon. And for the first time in weeks, I didn't wonder where she was. Didn't wonder who she was with. She was no longer mine to worry about. The ocean didn't ask for explanations. Didn't offer comfort. It just kept moving. And I let it carry the last pieces of her away. A month passed. Maybe more. I didn't count the days. Just watched the light change through the windows of a rental cabin that didn't have her name on any lease. No photos. No shared mugs. No echoes. I took long walks. Cooked simple meals. Answered only the calls I wanted to. She wrote once. An email. Said she hoped I was okay. That she understood if I never replied. I didn't. There wasn't anything left to say that wouldn't unravel the quiet I'd fought to build. The house stayed empty. I paid the taxes. Left the lights off. Let the seasons take it. One morning, I drove back up. Not to stay. Just to see. Grass had grown tall along the steps. A bird nested under the eaves. The porch swing hummed still, unmoved. Inside, the dust had settled like fog over everything we touched. I stood in the middle of the living room, hands in pockets, breath held. Then I walked to the mantel. Left the cabin key. One small, silver goodbye. No drama. No vengeance. No grand declaration. Just a final choice. To leave the house, and everything it held, behind. When I stepped outside, the wind shifted. The door closed gently on its own. I didn't look back. The road was waiting.